For my Life 101 project, I decided to interview somebody who's been teaching me life lessons my whole life. My dad, Joe. I chose my dad because I wanted to know what advice and life lessons he could give to me after so many years of living, and just what I can pass through my generation. Hey Dad, you ready to be interviewed?
Yes, I am.
All right, great. What role does kindness play in your life?
That's a good question. Well, for me, kindness is everything. It reciprocates. The way you treat others is, generally speaking, how you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
So by, being kind and, treating people with respect, it reciprocates. So it doesn't matter how bad things can be, the moment you have where, you're being mistreated, or if something happens where you're getting frustrating, that kindness can, allow you to overcome whatever it is that you're facing.
Mm-hmm. One of the biggest things my dad said when I asked him about the kindness was how much things reciprocate and how you can build off of those reciprocating things. So he said a little bit of like, if you're kind to others, they'll be kind back, a little bit of that, and then that can reciprocate by you just offering a hand and being willing to be there for others. What's one lesson you've learned about happiness?
It's a lot of lessons that you learn about happiness. Well, I would say life is short. You can't take anything for granted, and happiness comes in a lot of different forms. So for me, as a young person, growing up and having family close and helping guide and mentor me through my early years was, allowed me to see the bright side of life, when in some cases it could be considered doom and gloom, depending on how you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up and meeting your mom and being able to be a part of her life, and then growing a family with you and your brother was probably next to the best thing that's ever happened to us. So happiness comes in a lot of forms, and like I said before, we take things for granted a little bit. It doesn't matter if you talk about work or school or whatever your profession is going to be. You have to look at some of the great things about what it is you're doing. So even when you're in a moment where you're not feeling right, know that there's a bright side of even those scenarios. So for me, in the lessons, it's forever changed. It didn't matter if it was me as a young child, me going through school, being mentored by my family, extended family, and then growing my own family. There's been so many different joys along the way, and happiness comes in a lot of different forms, but to me, that's the most important parts.
The happiness lessons my dad was talking about really stuck with me, because it makes me think about my life and how I can translate my happiness into wherever I'm going to be going, whether it's college or just straight into the workforce. It makes me think about how when I'm older, and if I want to have kids, if I want to work a fantastic financing job or just something that I can be happy with it, and that I don't have to find joy in it, but if I have done something in the past that made me find joy and made me find happiness, that I should stick with it, is how I perceive what he was saying. And I think that I will keep sticking with things from now until then, unless something changes. What advice would you give to your younger self?
Well, it's tough. If I had to start life all over again, I don't think I would want it to play out any differently. But, you know, I would advise myself to not give up. You know, continue to look at the bright side despite what's going on, you know, in your life. And know that there's a greater path forward than maybe is in front of you right now. Although I found that at an older age growing up, I was fortunate enough to be on that side. I can't say that that would work for everybody, so I would advise myself, younger self, to look at that the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The thing that stuck with me most from that interview question that I asked was when my dad said trust the process, or something along the lines of trust the process, because the more you trust the process, the more you'll be able to understand things later on in life, and the more you will be able to work towards other things like building something big, like building a family or something crazy, because things like that help set a base root for yourself, and having a base root paves the way for new upcoming things.
This other question I had was, how do you handle failure or regret in your everyday life, or how have you handled it when you were younger or recently?
Well, obviously, we all make mistakes. And part of being human is accepting responsibility for it. And, you know, whether it be failure or regrets, it doesn't matter if it was something that I was a part of or something that happened that wasn't good. It wasn't maybe the football game or the basketball game where I didn't play, or we didn't win, or I didn't make the game-winning shot. For me, it was about the kind of adversity of pushing forward and being persistent and staying ahead of it. So it doesn't matter to me if it's a promotion today. That might be disappointing to not receive a promotion if you feel like you're ready for it, but understanding that now may not be the time, but there will be a time when you're ready. So having patience has allowed me to get over it, having someone to talk to and having someone to listen to. You know, I'm able to vent to your mom and talk to her about what's going on in my life, and she's able to help keep me steady and forward, and has helped me remain positive even in moments where, you know, it gets the best of us. So
yeah, that's good. I appreciate you sitting in this chair across from me and answering these questions I had. It was pretty good to hear all of them.
One thing that stuck with me from this last question was pretty much having somebody to lean on, whether it is, you know, my mom just being able to hear something, and or just anybody in general being able to listen to you, like a loved one, a friend, a family member, anything that you need. Somebody's there for you. And if you didn't play that well, if you didn't play at all, if you missed the game-winning shot, didn't catch the touchdown, didn't do anything that was needed of you, it'll be okay. You just have to let certain things go at a certain time. One of my teachers the other day told me that you have to trust again someday. And it doesn't matter what the topic is. You just have to be willing to trust yourself and trust others around you that everything will be okay. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Miss Hoard, I'm sorry it's a little bit long, but I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a good one.